Welcome to Unexpected Stories in East Asian Medicine, Episode 1. What does Tupac Shakur have to do with American acupuncture history? I promise you, it's not clickbait. One of the most influential acupuncture movements in American history was connected to Tupac's own family. Before I stumbled upon an Instagram post about a documentary, I had no idea this story existed either, but more on that in a few. Acupuncture has a long history, and we'll get there. Hopefully we can trace back to some of the roots of where it started back in China. We're going to have a series of videos of very important early instances of acupuncture, as well as its migration here to the West. But one of the most important chapters in modern American acupuncture started in the South Bronx during the heroin epidemic of the 1970s. The South Bronx was in crisis. Heroin addiction was devastating communities. Buildings were burning. Poverty was everywhere. Many residents felt abandoned by both the government and healthcare institutions. And that frustration created an environment in which people began seeking new solutions. One of those solutions became the Lincoln Detox Center. It wasn't set up as a luxury wellness center. It definitely wasn't a spa. It was a community-driven addiction treatment program trying to help people survive a public health crisis. And that's where acupuncture entered the story. The Lincoln Detox Center emerged from a coalition of activists, healthcare workers, community organizers, and patients. Groups like the Young Lords, the Republic of New Africa, and the Black Liberation Army pushed for community-controlled healthcare. People weren't waiting for someone else to solve the problem. They were building solutions themselves. And one of those solutions was acupuncture. One of those people leading this movement was Dr. Mutulu Shakur. And yes, if that name sounds familiar, it should, because Mutulu Shakur would later become known as Tupac Shakur's stepfather. But before most people knew his name, he was involved in one of the most pivotal moments in American acupuncture. Let that sink in for a second. One of the most influential figures in American acupuncture and addiction treatment is remembered by many people primarily because of his connection to one of the most famous rappers in the world. And it definitely wasn't covered in my acupuncture history classes. And honestly, I think it's a shame because it's one of the most fascinating stories in modern American acupuncture. The Lincoln Detox program had practitioners use ear acupuncture to support their ongoing withdrawal. Patients reported feeling calmer, sleeping better, experiencing fewer cravings, and the approach gained attention because it was simple, inexpensive, and very accessible. The work that began at the Lincoln Detox Center eventually evolved into what became the NADA protocol. NADA stands for the National Acupuncture Detoxification Association. After the Lincoln Detox Center was up and running, several practitioners continued refining and expanding the approach. Among the most influential was Dr. Michael Smith, who helped standardize and spread the NADA protocol that many people recognize today. Today, these protocols are used around the world in addiction treatment, trauma recovery, disaster response, behavioral health programs, and veteran support settings. It's important to understand that this story is bigger than just one person. The Lincoln Detox Center was a collaborative effort involving healthcare workers, community activists, organizers, and the patients themselves. Groups like the Young Lords helped push for community-controlled healthcare. Practitioners like Dr. Michael Smith helped refine, formalize, and expand acupuncture protocols after the early work at the Lincoln Detox. Organizations like the Black Acupuncture Advisory Association of North America helped introduce acupuncture to communities often overlooked by traditional healthcare. If you'd like to learn more, I strongly recommend the documentary Dope is Death, which helped bring this remarkable story to a wider audience. This is one of the many reasons why I love studying the history of East Asian medicine. Real stories are often stranger than the myths. Most acupuncture classes barely mention these chapters of history. Acupuncture didn't arrive in America through a straight line. It came through immigration, politics, community activism, counterculture, addiction treatment, and yes, through a connection to Tupac Shakur. When most people think about acupuncture, they think about the needles. But the history of East Asian medicine is really a history of the people. People trying to solve problems. People sharing ideas across cultures. Every place, society, culture that acupuncture touches is both informed by acupuncture and informs acupuncture, keeping the medicine a living, breathing, and constantly evolving vehicle for the health of the people using it. Every time it tells a story, and sometimes those stories connect places and people that you would never expect. Before I wrap up, I want to acknowledge that this story belongs to a much larger community than I could possibly cover in one video. Activists, patients, practitioners, researchers, historians, community organizations, and the many people who preserved these stories. If this topic interests you, I encourage you to explore the documentary and podcast Dope is Death, learn about the history of the Lincoln Detox Center, and visit NADA's website to learn more about the ongoing use of auricular acupuncture in recovery settings. Links to all of these resources are in the description of this video. A wholehearted thank you for their contribution to the rich history of acupuncture and providing real solutions to people in need. As the old Chinese adage goes, when drinking water, remember the source. If this story surprised you, taught you something, or raised more questions, send it to a friend who never would believe Tupac had a connection to acupuncture. That's usually how the best hidden stories come to light. If you know a strange, overlooked, or unexpected East Asian medicine story that deserves its own episode, let me know in the comments. I'm always looking for the next rabbit hole, because we're just getting started.